Yes, sir. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you'll be notified every time I upload. Um, Yesterday, man, I took Durant. His rebounds, he didn't get there, so it is what it is. LeBron, if you guys caught that short I did, or that reel, or that TikTok I did, that was kind of crazy, man. Had them guys fighting or whatever the case may be, but shout out to everybody, man, who comes through and to the lives. And if you ain't catching those lives, man, we do get it in, man. Couldn't go live today, just getting off work. It's actually 9 a.m. I got off work 3 hours ago, man. I'm tired, but I compiled a few things up here. Right now, what we're looking at right here is outlier.bet. I mean, yeah, outlier.bet. So you know what? I can read a few trends for you guys. That's one thing I can do. It's a lot of them right now. I could just, and these are prop trends here. Probably don't want to go. I'm gonna read a couple of them off. Maybe that's something I can do in the beginning of the video. But you know, it is what it is. You could, if you want to support my channel, whatever the case may be, um, you could become a member. You know what I'm saying? I dropped the play in there for the members only today. I'll give you guys a play since the members already got it, but that's something that I got to do special for the members. At least get it to them first or something like that before the lines drop. But as far as some of these trends, I read some of them off to you. Uh, Second, Alexander has failed to exceed 31.5 points in 10 straight games against the Los Angeles Lakers. He's averaging 23 points per game average. Um, I don't want to read all these trends, but Shaqiri Alexander has failed to exceed 37.5 points and rebounds in 10 straight games against the Los Angeles Lakers. Shai Alexander has failed to exceed 38.5 points and assists in 9 of his last 10 games against the Los Angeles Lakers. He's averaging 28.1 points and assists a game on average. Okay. Um, his 30 his points and rebounds sitting at 38.5 right now. Shaq Alexander has failed to exceed 43.5 points and rebounds and assists, PRAs, 9 of his last 10 games against the Los Angeles Lakers, 33.3 PRAs is his game average. Right now, it's sitting at 43.5. Shaq Alexander has failed to exceed 1.5 3-pointers made in 17 of his last 20 games after a loss. He's averaging .8 threes made. His his props in at 1.5. I'll touch on this Giannis prop right. Giannis and the ABC has exceeded one steal in 13 of his last 14 games on the road. He's averaging 1.7 steals on the road. His steals prop sitting at a half right now at minus 230, which is a parlay piece. All right, so I'll check off these last two Dame Dash, and I'll get it together here. All right, Damian Lillard has exceeded 6.5 assists in 8 of his last 11 games on the road. He's averaging 8.6 assists a game. I guess that's on the road. I have to recheck that. But over 6.5 assists is where they want to go. Is one minus 119 on Caesars. Last one. Damian Lillard has exceeded 26.5 points in 12 of his last 15 games as a favorite. He's averaged 36.3 points in a game. A game, and 26.5 points is his prop. You'll get that at minus 113 on FanDuel. And here on Outlier.bet, you can go over there and just, click on anything and then bam. You can add it to the picks like that, or whatever the case may be, and you can play it straight from there. So, all right. So, let's just run off this list that I have here. Let's start with, okay, so how do I have these? Okay, so I see how they have them. I see how they have them. All right. So, a few plays I'm gonna point out, and I'm gonna give you the plays that I played last night, the official plays. But a few plays that I'm looking at. If I don't say it's an official play, it's not an official play. But I'm gonna give you some plays, some plays that that stand out right now. So Tyrese Halliburton, his blocks. All right, he's got a block. Surprisingly, I didn't even know this, but that's the power of outlier. You know what I'm saying? He's got a block in 7 of his last 10 games. I don't know about head to head in this matchup. He's got a block in this matchup versus them, versus Miami. He's got a block in 3 of his last 4 games versus Miami. Am I going there? Probably, hell no. But it's just I had to point that out. You know what I'm saying? But just in case some people want to, you know, want to play around with some parlays or something like that. Honorable mention, last year he did get ass, I think, 10 threes. So, that's one thing that you could look at there. And let me see, 3 pointers head to head. He did get him 3 threes, 10 threes last year. That was crazy. That was a couple of days before Christmas there. All right. Um, to back some of that up, though, uh, Buddy Hill, his lines ain't out right now. So, in the 3 point category, Miami, they fifth in giving up threes to the a point guard, and then shooting guard. Miami is sixth in giving up threes to the shooting guard position. If Buddy Hield is still starting, or whatever the case may be, boom, that could be he could be a sneaky pick there. Okay, for three. All right, so there you have that. Um, Sliding back over here to bet. Um, let's take a look at the next pick here. Miles Turner. Miles Turner block. Um, there's a few other props here as well, but Miles Turner, he's 7 to 10 to his block number here at 1.5. Here's somebody who will block shots. He has an assignment. He has a block in 5 straight games. I mean, 2 blocks in 5 straight games. He's one of the best shot blockers in the league. All right. Shout out to Jaron Jackson yesterday for getting it in on the block side. You know what I'm saying? He really went crazy. All right, head to head in this matchup, he is 100% to this number versus Bam or whoever else they had, in the center's position. He's 7 for 7 to the blocks. This is a head to head matchup versus Miami. So he's 7 to 7 versus Miami to this blocks line here. Okay, so that's something that you could look at there. What about steals and blocks? Um, Head to head, he's 5 for 7 to this number at 2.5. Overall, last 10, overall, he's 7 for 10 to this number. Last five, he's 100% to his 2.5 steals and blocks there. What about his threes? What about his 3 point made? Head to head in this matchup, he's a 3 of 7. All right. So it is what it is there. Um, let's keep it moving over here to the next pick that I had pinged, and that would be Evan Mobley. Now, there's a few ways that you could look at Evan Mobley here. I took a stab at it last game, and that's what I say. I didn't give it out. I didn't give it out, but this is the shit that I wasn't on. So prior to this game right here was the 28th. He was. I made him. I made him. I made him. I made him. I made him have one turnover. His turnover his turnover his turnover probably sitting at 1.5. So I said, I'm okay. I'm gonna be sneaky, right? I'm gonna take it, right? And that motherfucker, he didn't even turn the ball over. He turned it over once, actually. But as you can see, last 10 games, he's 8 of 10 to this number. Head to head versus this team, he's only 2 of 5. I mean, it ain't nothing I'm looking at, but uh it's one of my official plays. I went to the well on this one here. The points. Okay. So 15 and a half. Right now on the books, it's moved on certain books. FanDuel moved to 16 and a half. On Prize Picks, it's sitting at 15 and a half still. So you can get it at 15 and a half still on Prize Picks. Look, I ain't gonna say it's not a. It's I'm playing it. I'm playing it. It's not an official play, but I played it last night. Look, I've been going to the well on his points. I've been going to the well on his points, and whenever he's got a mismatch, I'm gonna have to try it, man. If he don't get any foul trouble versus Jeremy Grant, like Jeremy's a mouse in the house. You can look at his rebounds as well, because I'll get to that. Points and rebounds or points and rebounds. Okay. He's hit this number in 8 of his last 10 games. The usage is not super high for him, but he gets it in when he can. Uh, he had he had 21 points versus this team on the 15th. Let's see, on the 15th. What about his fouls? Let's see. Let's check it. He played 35 minutes. Right. On the 15th, he only had one foul. That's a good sign. He attempted 11 field goals. He hit 8 3-pointers. Uh, he attempted 1 free throws versus that Portland. He had a lot of free throws that game. He had 8 free throws. He made 5 of them. All right. So, and then historically versus this team, let's see. He's 3 of 5 versus this team, including back-to-back games. All right. So it is what it is. All right. Evan Mobley, you can look at a steal. Let's go through some of his other numbers. And what did I say? Points and points, points and assists. What? No, I said points and rebounds. He's 60% to the points and assists, but points and rebounds. Points, rebounds. 5 or 10 to this number in the last 10 games. 50%. Interesting. Rebounds and assists. He's 7 to 10 to this number. I'll leave the rest of this stuff alone. I'll leave the rest. He's 7 to 10 to his PRA number as well. All right. So yeah. Next play. Um, Now I sprinkled on that. It's not an official play. It's because I'm gonna play it every time. It's official play, man. Give me the over 15 and a half for this guy, man. Let me stop playing. All right. I need to start giving my plays out. Like just like take the plays and go and live with it. Um Donovan Mitchell. Um you could look at Donovan Mitchell numbers. And now there is some blowout risk here too, so don't forget that. But you can look at Donovan Mitchell numbers in a few different ways. You could look at his assists. Last 10 games, he's 7 for 10 to assist prop. You can look at his rebounds, even his rebounds. Yes, his rebounds. Um, he's 8 of 10 to his rebound line. 8 of 10 to his rebound line. Head to head, he's 2 or 3 to this number for his rebounds and his assists. He is in this matchup. He's 1 for 3 in this matchup in assists. But lately, he's been doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing it. What else here? Cleveland. Um, just to give you guys a quick tidbit, a little bit though. Cleveland, they're third in giving up points to the point guard. Okay, so that's none other than Brogdon. And then I'm not a big fan of Donovan Mitchell's defense either. So the switch, Brogdon could be in a decent little spot here. Um, Cleveland right outside the top 10 and giving up threes to the shooting point guard position there. Probably middle of the pack, whatever the case may be. You can hit some threes. You're going to have to shoot some threes against the trees. You're going to have to shoot some threes against the trees anyway. So, but I had to point that out. All right. Getting back to where we were, let's see. Yeah, so and then everything else for Donovan Mitchell that you like should be in play here. I mean, it's the Blazers for crying out loud. I mean, it is what it is, right? So I just wanted to point out his rebounds and assists. I probably would look at him. I mean, let me see, his rebounds and assists combo, head to head, he's hit this number twice versus this team head to head. But last 5 and last 10, he ain't well, he's 3 of 5, last 5. Last 10, he's 7 of 10 to his rebounds and assists. And that's 9.5. I don't think I'll be playing it though. Tell you the truth, I don't think I'll be playing it. 3 pointers, this is what he does. All right. Um, um, he shoots the three. And versus this team, he's got 6 threes, 5 threes. Okay, he hasn't faced this team this year, right? And this is normal for him. 5 threes is basically normal for a guy like him. Okay, let's keep it moving. Jared Allen rebounds and play. No need for me to be explaining that, but his rebounds are in play. Going up against Aiton, I mean, he just to show you guys some numbers, he had some okay numbers versus Aiton. You know what I'm saying? Hadn't faced him. Yeah, he faced him this year. He had 9. So if you even when you want to alter his rebounds, whatever the case may be my guest with that. But he's 4-10 in this matchup, 4 or 5 in this matchup. Last 10 games, hasn't been looking pretty good. Hasn't been looking good. He's 2 or 5 to this number his last 5 games. Points, his point line is sitting at 13 and a half. He's 3 or 5 to that. His last 10 games, he is 4 for 10 in head to head. He is 3 of 5 to this number head to head. All right. What else do we got here? He just faced these guys on the 15th. He had 11 points there. All right. Um, Next play. Um, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson. He's 80% to his points number right now in general. Um, I mean, he's 80% to this number at 23 and a half. Don't think he's hit this number 2 times, 2 out of 4 times versus his team. Um, they give up the most points, Detroit, as you can see. I was all over D'Angelo Russell's fantasy projecting. He cracked that yesterday. So the projections were right. But yeah, they number one in giving up points to the point guard position. What else we got here? That's all I really needed to see, to tell you the truth, though. The points, man. You know what I'm saying? Fantasy points. They number one giving up fancy points to the point guard position. But, am I gonna go there though? Probably not. I really bet his props, but I had to give you guys the sauce. You know what I'm saying? I had to give you guys the sauce, whatever the case may be. And what is this? Detroit. Yeah, so we're gonna have it's a back to back for Detroit, so we're gonna have to see who is in and whatever the case may be with the roster situation there. Um, hmm. Okay. Um, Nick Claxton, official play. All right. So you look at his steals and blocks, right? So he's 8 for 10 to this number on the season. Last 20 games, he's 16 to 20 for his 2.5 steals and blocks. Okay, he's 16 to 20 for this shit. All right, this is what he does. All right, head to head, he's 5 or 7 to this number versus Brooklyn. He's 5 or 7 to this number. 2023, that's this year. Uh, 7 and 8, 7 of 8 games. 2022, he was 71% to this number on the season. That's crazy. 2.5 blocks, all right, and steals, all right. You can look at his straight block prop. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, head to head. He's had 2 blocks or better and 2.5. His number's at 2.5 now. Interesting. Well, 2.5 in 4 straight games versus this team. 4 out of 7. Last 20, 13 of 20. Last 10, 7 of 10. Last 5, 80%, 4 or 5. Okay. So that's Nick Claxton. All right. Uh, Definitely. If you're playing, he's a fantasy candidate there, fantasy score candidate there. An official play for me. All right. Over 2.5 blocks and steals. I took his 2 blocks, you know. Blocks, I don't think blocks and steals was out at the time. And the three ball should be in full effect here. First and foremost, Brooklyn. Brooklyn attempts the 6th most threes in the league. All right, I go through this every single day, every time they play. If they can't hit the three, they won't win. All right. Now, how are they doing versus threes? Okay, so um, let's go straight to the 3 point. Bam. Brooklyn giving up the most threes to the point guard position. Okay, that's none other than Terry Rozier. Even if you want to check out some numbers for Terry Rozier, and then let me talk about Brooklyn also giving up the most threes to the small forward position. Okay, so I don't bet Hayward's threes. I do not. I might sprinkle some on the side today. His lines aren't out. His lines aren't out. In the power forward position, Charlotte Hornets, they give up threes. That's somebody like that's my boy, Johnson. And then let me see. The other kid is supposed to come back today, man. Damn, what's his name? The guard that shoots a lot. He's just got a cannon. So shoot a lot. I forgot his name. Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is probable for this game. Okay, so if you want to temper your expectations on numbers and stuff, be my guest. All right, be my guest. But yeah, Cam Johnson. He should be running the four over here, and his threes are in play. All right, he could be running the three, he could be running the four, but his threes are in play here. Charlotte giving up the third most threes to the power forward position. And speaking of right, so Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier is looking at his 3 pointers here versus this team. He likes to shoot them versus this team. He's 4-7 to this number. Versus this team head to head. And then Miles Bridges, for whatever it's worth, versus this team, I think he's 100% to the his 3 point prop. Okay, Miles Bridges, 3 pointers, 2.5. Uh, he's only 2 of 10 last 3 games, last 10 games, but versus this team, he's got 3, 3, and 3. He's 100% to that number. So I don't have to pay close attention to see. I know his usage should go up a little bit more without LaMelo Ball. We will see. We will definitely see. Interesting. We will see. Let me check something out real fast. I'm gonna leave it alone. Back to the picks. Back to the picks. ABC. Um, you know what this is. It's the Bulls and the Bucks. So keep an eye out on the news for the Bulls, injury news, trade news, all that type of stuff. Because they got Levine on the block. ABC. He's 7-10 to this number here versus the Bulls. Points and rebounds. 41. 41 points and rebounds. He's 70% to this number. So could talk you off of this number. Versus the Bulls head to head, he's 10 for 13 to this number at 77%. He's been historically crushing the Bulls in this category, okay? The Bulls probably rate, man, they were what, last in that, almost last in that category. So his points and rebounds could definitely be in play, rebounds, however you want to look at it, okay? Um, He's got more numbers and things of that nature, but I ain't even gonna point them out. The three ball. Now we don't have him on the books now, but the three ball. Uh, Damian Lillard is in play. Who I wanted to talk about is Malik Beasley. See what the lineup's gonna be like. Malik Beasley got a torch. All right, the Bulls giving up the most threes to the shooting guard position. Malik Blees is just not on the just not on the books right now. In fact, the Bulls are giving up the threes to the 2, 3, and the 4. So small forward, Bulls are top 10, probably like seventh or eighth, giving up the threes. It's power forward, still top 10, probably like 7 or 8, and getting up the three. So the Bulls will give up the three ball. Now, on the flip side, Kobe White has been playing some good ball. Uh, I don't think the Bulls can be able to keep this one close, though, to get him a full allotment, but we'll see. If he can come out hot, he might hit a couple threes, and vice versa. Dame Lillard. If Kobe White's got to be on Game Lillard, it ain't looking good. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't looking good. You can look at Dame for threes. All right. Let's go. Let's get through with this. Here. Just point out a lot of spots that caught my eye, and hopefully you guys, take heed to that. This is this should be a volume play right here, okay? Andrew Wiggins, right? So his three ball is sitting at 1.5, right? Lately he's been playing minutes, so last 5 games, he's 4-5 to this number, and they battling injuries. They battling injuries right now. His last 5 games, uh, so he played 35 minutes last game, 36, 24, 27, 30, 34. He played 30 minutes in 3 of his last 5 games. He's going for 30 minutes tonight. He's gonna probably have to. Gary Payton, Chris Paul, they're gonna have to try to do something. They're gonna have to try to win some games, whatever the case may be. So from a volume standpoint, minutes equal opportunity. I couldn't talk you off 1.5 threes here. Head to head versus this team, he's 100% to this number. He's 5 of 5 versus the Clippers with 2 threes. Do as you will. Last time he played them, he had 6 threes that game. Okay, so do as you will. All right. Next play is still Wiggins here, and this one I want to point out is going to be the blocks for Wiggins. Okay. His blocks last 10. Mm, he's 3 of 10 for that. Head to head though, he's 100% to this number. A half a block, whatever the case may be, 1 block. It's a minus 160 right now. He should be out there. He's gonna have a defensive assignment every time you look around. The switch he gonna be getting switched up with a superstar every time. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it is what it is, man. I'm just stating the facts, showing you guys what's going on. Steals and blocks. Probably sitting at 1.5. That's in play as well. He's 4-5 to this number versus this team. Last 5 games, he's only 1 for 4, and then 2 for 10. Okay, to that number. But like I said, minutes equal opportunity. He's going to be out there, so you're just going to have to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Have to see what's going on. And mm, I think that just about summed it up, man. Um, so official plays for me, uh, Evan Mobley, 15 over 15 and a half points. I want to make that Miles Turner 2 blocks or 2.5 blocks and steals an official play. I'm gonna hold fast on that. I'm gonna make. I might make that. It might make the cut though. Um, Brunson, but he's not an official play for me. But he damned well should be. But I might be looking at Brunson for a multitude of things, fantasy score, whatever the case may be, some shit like that on PrizePicks or something like that. What's the kid's name? Claxton, official play, 2.5 blocks and steals. Oh man, I skipped right over this game. This is why I meant to talk about this game as a whole. Official play, I got it last night at 10.5. Trey Young assist. Official play, I got it at 10.5 last night. Clint Capella rebounds. Okay. And this team here, both of these teams, look, both of these teams here, like I'm finna, this should be the Wimby is questionable, but this should be the mecca right here, damn near for the same game parlays. You know what I'm saying? So let's check out the pace real quick. Now Atlanta Hawks, San Antonio Spurs, 3-4. All right, and pace. All right, so this is a pace-up matchup. Should be going fast. A lot of bricks, a lot of assists. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, San Antonio can keep it close. Which I don't. That if Wemby goes, I think this would be one. It could be one here. If Wemby plays, it could be one. So, and if Wemby plays, I got real interest in this point prop. We're sitting at 19 and a half or 20 and a half, one or the other. What else? What else? What else? What else? Hmm. I want to look at the 3-point attempted. Yeah. San Antonio number 11 and Hawks number 9. Two of the most, these, they shooting the threes. However, like, look, you can look at points and threes, whatever. The point guard position. They giving San Antonio second most points to the point guard position. Um, sixth most threes to the point guard position. Assists, they just giving up assists to the point guard position. Sixth most assists to the point guard position. Fantasy score, fourth most, fantasy score to the point guard position. You want to talk about the shooting guard, the most fantasy points to the shooting guard position, regular points for points, they top 10 in points for points. What about threes? Top 10 in threes to the shooting guard position. Just a lot, man. I could just keep going on and on and on and shit. Um, where were we at? Points for the small forward position. They're probably a little bit better in the small forward position there. Power forward, points, top 10, uh, threes for the power forward. San Antonio Spurs, number 1. That'll be Sadiq Bey today. Uh, fancy points. Um, Surprisingly, they don't give up many fancy points, but y'all get the drift. It's going down. I ain't say nothing about Atlanta and all that shit. I ain't say nothing about Atlanta and all that shit. Rebounds, points. San Antonio Spurs giving up the fourth most points to the center. Rebounds, they are giving up they top 10 are giving up rebounds. That's Ken Capella. Like, it's a lot here, man. So two bad defensive teams going at it. Same game parlay, threes, please. Everything is in play. Uh, with that being said, guys, peace the fuck out. Okay? Peace.